The Alien franchise explores humanity's expansion into deep space, encountering hostile environments and alien life forms. This video covers every significant planet featured in the Alien films, including prequels, sequels, and select expanded universe materials. And it'll tell you everything you need to know for FX's blockbuster series, Alien Earth. Let's jump right in. LV-223, Engineer Outpost, Prometheus. LV-223 is a moon in the Zeta II Reticuli system, located approximately 39 light-years from Earth. The Zeta II Reticuli system is a binary star system consisting of two sun-like stars, Zeta Reticuli A and B. LV-223 orbits Kalpamos, a ringed gas giant, and was first introduced in Prometheus as the primary setting for the events of the film. In the year 2093, the exploration vessel USCSS Prometheus arrives at LV-223 after following ancient star maps discovered by archaeologists Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway. The moon features a harsh toxic atmosphere with high carbon dioxide levels and trace amounts of nitrogen and argon, making it unbreathable for humans. The surface is barren, rocky, and subjected to frequent violent storms, including colossal sandstorms that force the crew to retreat to their ship. Crew members use advanced atmosphere suits with built-in air filtration, heads-up displays, and communication systems. All-terrain rovers and aerial survey craft are used for transportation across the hazardous terrain. LV-223 contains large hollow structures built by the engineers, including distinct landmarks such as the giant horseshoe-shaped derelict ship, numerous temples, and underground chambers. The most prominent structure is the Central Pyramid, which contains several key locations: the ampule room, where thousands of cylindrical containers filled with black goo are stored, the cryo chamber, where the last surviving engineer is found in stasis, and a chamber dominated by a massive humanoid head statue surrounded by murals depicting the Xenomorph life cycle. These environments are artificially maintained, with oxygen-rich air inside the complex contrasting sharply with the hostile external conditions. The crew's investigation reveals that LV-223 was used as a weapons testing facility by the engineers, focused on the development of the black goo pathogen. Approximately 2,000 years before the events of the film, around 100 CE, a catastrophic outbreak of the black goo eradicated the local engineer population. During their mission in December 2093, several crew members are killed by mutated organisms, including the hammerpede creatures and the large proto-facehugger known as the trilobite. The synthetic David experiments with the black goo, leading to accelerated infection and mutation. The mission culminates with the awakening of a lone surviving engineer who kills most of the remaining crew before himself being killed by a proto-xenomorph organism called the Deacon. LV-223 serves as the earliest known location of the black goo bioweapon and the evolutionary origins of the xenomorph species. The last we see of LV-223 is in 2094, when Elizabeth Shaw and the damaged synthetic David depart the moon aboard an engineer ship, setting course for the engineer's homeworld. LV-223 remains abandoned, its lethal secrets undiscovered by the wider human race. Planet 4, Engineered Homeworld, Alien Covenant. Planet 4, also known as the Engineer Homeworld, is located in an unspecified star system several years of travel from LV-223 aboard an engineered juggernaut. It is introduced in Alien Covenant 2017 as the destination reached by the hijacked engineer ship piloted by David and Elizabeth Shaw in 2094. The events of Alien Covenant take place 10 years later, in 2104. Planet 4 has a temperate atmosphere with an Earth-like oxygen and nitrogen balance, allowing humans to breathe without the need for atmosphere suits. The landscape features vast forests, mountains, and bodies of fresh water, but the planet lacks any signs of advanced modern civilization following a catastrophic biological attack. Key landmarks include the central engineer city, characterized by massive stone architecture, grand plazas, and ancient structures reminiscent of Greco-Roman design. A towering citadel dominates the settlement, with a large docking platform for engineer spacecraft. Inside the city are ceremonial halls, laboratories, and open plazas used during public gatherings. An amphitheater-like structure is seen during the black goo bombardment sequence. Upon arrival in 2094, David unleashed the black goo pathogen in an aerial dispersal attack from the engineer juggernaut, instantly killing the engineer population through rapid biological breakdown and mutagenic decomposition. The city was left as a mass grave, its inhabitants turned to charred husks. Elizabeth Shaw's remains are later discovered in one of the laboratories, having been used in David's genetic experiments. In 2104, the colonization vessel USCSS Covenant, carrying 2,000 colonists and over 1,000 embryos, diverts to Planet 4 after receiving a human distress signal, later revealed to be David's transmission. Upon arrival, the Covenant crew encounters Xenomorphs, white-skinned creatures born from local wildlife infected by mutagenic spores. Multiple crew members are killed in attacks by Xenomorphs and later by the fully formed Xenomorph variant bred by David. Technologically, Covenant landing parties use atmospheric shuttles, advanced drones, and weaponry, but are quickly overwhelmed by the biohazard threats on the planet. Planet 4 lacks advanced planetary defenses or automated systems, having been depopulated in David's attack. The final confrontation reveals that David has refined the black goo experiments into a perfected form of the Xenomorph, with eggs capable of spawning classic facehuggers. The last recorded departure from Planet 4 occurs in 2104, when David, impersonating the Covenant's synthetic Walter, takes command of the ship. He transports several xenomorph embryos in cryostorage and leaves Planet 4 abandoned, its ancient civilization destroyed, and the planet repurposed as a biological test site. LV-426 Acheron. Alien. Aliens. LV-426, later designated Acheron, is a small moon orbiting the gas giant Calpamos in the Zeta II Reticuli system, approximately 39 light-years from Earth. It shares the system with LV-223, but features even more extreme environmental hazards. The atmosphere is dense with nitrogen and methane, combined with trace amounts of ammonia, making it toxic and unbreathable. Surface conditions include violent electrical storms, hurricane-force winds, and near-constant darkness due to thick cloud cover. Terraforming efforts begin in the 2150s, utilizing atmospheric processors to make the moon marginally habitable. First discovered in 2122 by the commercial hauler USCSS Nostromo, whose crew is rerouted to LV-426 after receiving a mysterious distress signal. Upon landing, they discover the derelict, a crashed engineer juggernaut containing thousands of xenomorph eggs in a cargo hold beneath a mummified engineer pilot, known colloquially as the space jockey. Executive Officer Kane becomes the first human infected by a facehugger from one of these eggs. In 2157, Weyland-Yutani establishes a terraforming colony called Hadley's Hope, with around 158 colonists. In 2179, following communication loss, the colonial marines aboard the USS Sulaco investigate. They find the colony overrun by xenomorphs after colonists unknowingly entered the derelict's cargo hold. Significant locations include the atmospheric processor complex, the ruins of Hadley's Hope, and the derelict ship located several kilometers beyond the colony perimeter. The processor is destroyed in a nuclear blast during the Sulaco crew's escape, resulting in the complete loss of Hadley's Hope and presumed destruction of the derelict. LV-426 is significant as the first human contact with the xenomorph species, and the primary setting for both Alien 2122 and Aliens 2179. Following the events of Aliens, the moon is classified as uninhabitable and restricted by Weyland-Yutani, its atmospheric processors destroyed and its colony wiped out. Aurigae 6, Abandoned Colony Destination, Alien Covenant. Aurigae 6 is a habitable planet located in a distant star system, approximately 7 years of travel from Planet 4 aboard the USCSS Covenant at standard interstellar speeds. It is introduced in Alien Covenant 2017 as the intended destination of the Covenant's colonization mission. Aurigae 6 was selected by Weyland-Yutani for colonization based on long-range scans that indicated an Earth-like atmosphere, arable land, and stable surface conditions suitable for human settlement. Specific planetary data includes a breathable atmosphere rich in nitrogen and oxygen, with land masses capable of supporting agriculture and permanent infrastructure. The Covenant's cargo included over 2,000 colonists, more than 1,000 human embryos, and a full complement of terraforming and construction equipment. In the timeline of Alien Covenant, the Covenant is diverted from Aurigae 6 after receiving a human signal from Planet 4. As a result, the planned colonization of Aurigae 6 never takes place during the events of the film. By the conclusion of Alien Covenant in 2104, David, disguised as the ship's synthetic Walter, assumes control of the Covenant and resumes course to Aurigae 6. He carries xenomorph embryos in cryogenic storage, implying that Aurigae 6 is likely the future site of xenomorph experimentation and infestation. As of the end of Alien Covenant, no human landings or settlements have occurred on Aurigae 6. Its exact surface conditions remain unknown, and its significance lies primarily in its role as a foreshadowed setting for future events in the Alien timeline. LV-410, Jackson's Star Colony, Alien Romulus. LV-410, known to its colonists as Jackson's Star, is a terrestrial planet orbiting in the Alpheus system, approximately 65 light-years from Earth. It is the primary setting for the 2024 film Alien Romulus. Although designated as a planet, the colony refers specifically to a mining settlement located on its surface. The planet is noted for its distinctive ring system and is roughly comparable in size to Mars. The environment on LV-410 is harsh and unwelcoming. The atmosphere is technically breathable, but heavily polluted, with thick smog and bioorganic contaminants making long-term habitation difficult. Even after the installation of atmospheric processors in 2133, sunlight fails to penetrate the dense cloud cover, resulting in a perpetually dim, gloomy landscape. Surface temperatures average around 15 degrees Celsius, with frequent storms and volcanic terrain contributing to its hazardous conditions. Jackson's star colony was established in 2133 under Jackson's resource development, before later being absorbed by Weyland-Yutani. By 2142, the colony maintained a population of approximately 2,780 residents, consisting mainly of miners, engineers, and corporate employees. Infrastructure includes atmosphere processors, TSOTEC 2100B refinery units, mining complexes, worker barracks, a medical facility, administrative buildings, and standard landing pads. Ground transport is primarily handled by mini-trucks, adapted to the rugged industrial environment. The events of Alien Romulus take place in 2142, placing the timeline between Alien and Aliens. At this point in history, the wider human population remains unaware of the Xenomorph threat. The story follows a group of young colonists, including the protagonist Rain and an android named Andy, who escape the colony aboard a stolen Corblin 4 transport ship, seeking refuge on a distant colony named Ivaga 3. While much of the action in Romulus shifts to the derelict Renaissance station, Jackson's star serves as the narrative starting point. The colony exemplifies the remoteness and isolation of frontier settlements operated under Weyland-Yutani's corporate control. Its harsh environmental conditions and industrial character make it a fitting backdrop for the unfolding horror. Jackson's star expands the franchise's depiction of mid-22nd century human colonization, reinforcing themes of exploitation, corporate secrecy, and the vulnerability of isolated workers in deep space. Earth, humanity's origin and corporate stronghold. Multiple appearances. Earth is humanity's homeworld and a constant reference point throughout the Alien franchise, serving as the administrative and corporate capital of human civilization. While rarely depicted directly, it plays a central narrative role across the timeline. In Prometheus, 2089 to 2091, Earth is seen in several key scenes. The expedition to LV-223 is launched from Earth, with early scenes showing Elizabeth Shaw and Charlie Holloway discovering engineer star maps in Scotland's Isle of Skye. These archaeological discoveries set in motion humanity's first deliberate voyage to contact the engineers. Corporate financing comes from Peter Weyland, CEO of Weyland Corporation, whose holographic address to the crew is recorded on Earth before departure. In Alien Covenant, 2104, Earth appears again in flashback form. The film opens with a conversation between Peter Weyland and the newly activated synthetic David, filmed in a stark white chamber with views of mountainous terrain through expansive windows. This dialogue establishes the ideological motivations behind Weyland's deep space missions and the creation of artificial life. In Alien 2122 and Aliens 2179, Earth is the intended destination for the Nostromo crew and the surviving colonists, although it is never shown on screen. By Alien 3, 2180, Earth remains a remote authority, represented by Weyland-Yutani executives issuing orders from afar. By the late 24th century, as seen in Alien Resurrection, 2379, Earth is depicted visually from orbit. The planet is shown as environmentally degraded, covered in thick cloud layers, pollution, and widespread urban decay. Dialogue refers to Earth's societal decline, and visual shots from the USM Auriga present a world plagued by industrial excess. Throughout the franchise, Earth functions as the launch point for colonial expeditions, a symbol of corporate power and a contrast to the isolation of frontier colonies. Despite its narrative prominence, no known xenomorph outbreak occurs on Earth in established film canon, and it remains largely untouched by direct alien infestation. Earth's portrayal evolves from archaeological wonder in Prometheus to ideological battleground in Covenant, to industrial core in the original trilogy, and finally to a polluted relic by Resurrection, reflecting the franchise's broader themes of human ambition, corporate overreach, and environmental decay. Post-apocalyptic Planet Earth, upcoming FX series. Alien Earth features the first extensive on-screen depiction of Earth during a xenomorph outbreak. Set in the early 22nd century prior to the events of Alien 2122, it depicts a large-scale infestation occurring on humanity's homeworld, with Earth's advanced technological society descending into chaos. The series centers on Earth's vast megacities, where towering skyscrapers, overcrowded districts, and corporate strongholds dominate the landscape. The urban environments are depicted as dense, polluted, and divided by sharp class hierarchies. These metropolitan zones serve as the backdrop for the collapse of social order as the xenomorph infestation spreads. Production for Alien Earth utilizes filming locations in Thailand and other Southeast Asian locales, chosen to replicate the intense heat, humidity, and dense cityscapes envisioned for Earth in the 22nd century. This approach allows the series to authentically portray both the sprawling urban jungles and more isolated industrial wastelands. The narrative focuses on multiple perspectives: corporate elites within Weyland-Yutani's upper management, civilians struggling for survival on the streets, and specialized military units tasked with suppression efforts. Synthetics, or synths, play a crucial role, operating in both security enforcement and morally ambiguous scientific roles. Human xenomorph hybrid experiments, corporate sabotage, and the breakdown of containment measures all factor into the growing crisis. Alien Earth expands the Alien universe by portraying the xenomorph threat directly impacting Earth, revealing both the fragility of human civilization and the ruthlessness of corporate interests. With sequences depicting military failures, civil unrest, and the infiltration of xenomorphs into Earth's infrastructure, the series shifts the horror from isolated colonies to the heart of human civilization. Now, that brings our detailed guide to an end. Across the vast Alien universe, we've journeyed from barren moons and distant colonies to the smog-choked megacities of Earth itself. From the desolate storms of LV-426 to the industrial ruins of Jackson's star, every world carries its own haunting legacy of human expansion, corporate greed, and encounters with the ultimate nightmare: xenomorph life forms. With upcoming stories like Alien Earth, the franchise continues to expand, revealing new horrors and forgotten corners of space. This channel will continue to follow every new revelation, every forgotten colony, and every planet touched by the aliens' terrifying influence. If you've enjoyed this comprehensive tour of the Alien universe, make sure to like, subscribe, and join us for future explorations. Humanity may never learn from its mistakes, but together we can map the darkness of space, one doomed planet at a time.